we enter a whole new day in trade, let's take a look at the forces that are likely to impact our market. Now, yesterday the US had a bit of a tough session. The Dow was down 100 points or 0.5%. The S&P was also 0.5% lower, and the Nasdaq also closed 0.3% lower. Now, New York City's daily positive rate of coronavirus infections is back to about 3% for the first time in months, which is alarming. On the flip side of that, a company called Regeneron said its drug recorded some really good results and improved symptoms in non-hospitalized COVID-19 patients. So that's something that should be a positive catalyst for the markets. Futures currently on the Dow are up around 80-90 points, almost erasing yesterday's losses. And S&P and Nasdaq futures are up around 0.3%, so also nearly erasing yesterday's losses. Now, Europe yesterday also had a bit of a tough day. They retreated. Brexit talks and of course the US presidential debate, which is currently on as we speak, is also having a very profound impact on markets. And based on how that debate concludes, let's see how the futures move. It'll be very interesting to track that. For now, it seems to be positive. Now, the Pan-European Stock 600 yesterday closed down 0.5%. Banks over here lost 2.1%. Utilities were the only sector bucking the trend, up 0.5%. Asia this morning, Japanese markets opened lower. The Nikkei shed 0.25%. The Topix declined 0.41%. Australia's dipped over 1%. That's the ASX 200 I'm talking about. So overall, the MSCI is having a bit of a tough day this morning. Korea, we have no cues coming out of the Kospi because they're actually closed today for a market holiday. Now, two commodities that we're going to check in on, oil and gold. Oil prices fell more than 3% yesterday on Tuesday. Demand outlook is really weakening, both in US and Europe, because their cases are really starting to surge once again. Also, on the back of weaker demand, US crude inventories apparently rose by 1.6 million barrels last week. So that's never a good sign. Brent futures for November down $1.6 to $40.83 per barrel. For December, they've fallen 3.6% to $41.33 per barrel. And WTI fell around $1.31 or 3.2% to settle at $39.29 per barrel. Gold finally acting like a bit of a hedge and a safe haven appeal, once again creeping back into the metal, which has been kind of lacking fervor for the last month or so. We've just seen the equity markets really hogging the limelight. But gold is now back to its highest point in a week. The dollar is weakened, obviously, so that's helping gold. Also, additional stimulus expected to come in any day now, a formidable bill. That's another thing that's driving gold prices higher. So on the back of this, spot gold was up 0.5% to $1,889 per ounce. So nearly now reclaiming $1,900, which seemed like a distant dream last week. And then US gold futures also just $5 shy of $1,900, up 0.7% to $1,895 per ounce.